Hello and welcome back to yet another weapon showcase breakdown video. My name is Hollow and today...
Shut up! It's time for the best weapon!
The longsword. That is 100% what he meant. But if we can just put aside Rage's undying love for the best weapon in the game, the longsword, we're actually looking at both the switch axe and the greatsword today. And we're gonna start, obviously, with the
greatsword.
We actually see something new to both myself and Josh here. Neither of us actually know what weapon or armor set this is from. Clearly it's ice-based with that white and blue and the fluffy nature of it to keep you warm in a cold environment. But we think this might be a not yet revealed monster. I just wonder who it is. As exciting as that is though, let's get into the gameplay. Speaking of which, hey, look who's shown up today. Rathian is here in Rise, but I think we were all expecting that one, right? Right off the bat, we're using wirebugs to get airborne and slam some crazy big hits with the plunge attacks. We're wide sweeping, shoulder bashing, and swiping some more. And thank goodness that shoulder tackle is back. It was such a good addition to the
greatsword
world. Josh is obviously a massive fan of that move, and frankly, I can't imagine the
greatsword
without it anymore. We go from wide swinging to true charging, which is an important thing to note here, by the way, because if you land from an air attack, right, you can go straight into the swipe, which can now go straight into a true charge. That's a huge improvement to the core gameplay, and great because we're going to be doing so much aerial movement, and it makes the swipe a bit more relevant since you can get more output via the true charge. Another thing I want to quickly mention is just how good it looks when we gain charge levels now. The glow along the blade just looks really good, just like the longsword. Now we'll jump into our first silkbind attack, which does give us a familiar mechanic. Zipping forward in a direction, we suddenly mini sheath, which buffs the damage for a short period of time. We can actually see how long that buff lasts by the blue glow on the back until that runs out. This is familiar because it's comparable to the old Lion's Maw Hunter art, where you throw out an attack and then sheath for a boost on your next draw attack. This is a bit more fluid and functional though when compared to that, because we can use this effect for any attack, not just the draw attack. Following suit with many silkbind attacks, our second one for the greatsword is aerial based. We have seen this one before in the
greatsword
gameplay, where we leap up dealing damage as we go and then bounce on up higher as we trigger the charged plunge, smashing down with huge damage. Josh was telling me that he hopes you can true charge upon landing here, but I don't know, that wasn't shown and it would be a bit crazy. Either way, this means instead of spam ledge jumping whenever we can, we're making use of the silkbind attacks and the wirebug movement to get into the air and perform much more fluid and functional aerial attacks. This is a big improvement. For now though, that is everything for
greatsword.
So let's move on to the next weapon, the switch axe. Speaking of new things though, holy crap. Two sets of equipment in this video that both myself and Rage don't know. This set seems totally new, comes from, I don't know. It looks really good either way, almost like a cyborg style warrior, especially the male who has the Iron Man heart piece in his chest and that crazy helmet. Based on the tail of the female and the cat ears as well, is this a sort of cat monster, do you think? Exciting to think about. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think about this one. But let's get into the gameplay. And look who shows up. Some proper Somnacant gameplay at last. I love how this monster sits on its tail, standing upright and standing so tall. Or when it lays on all fours, you get to see just how long it really is. Serpent-like monsters are always really cool to me, but now let's talk about the switch axe. Just like the
greatsword,
this video starts with some aerial movement thanks to the wirebug, letting us land big damaging plunge attacks, which activates the sword right from the unsheath. We follow that up with standard swings and slaps of the sword, ending with a big spinning uppercut style slash. Next we have the axe mode though, with the much wider swings. There's that great combo that you can just do forever and ever, or yeah, end it with a transition to save the sword. From the sword there's these new awesome lightning effects. The hunter should probably be careful they don't fry themselves while standing in that water. But next comes easily one of my favorite attacks in all of Monster Hunter. The sword blast attack is back. We charge up a huge explosion and it just looks so good. Now it's time for the first of the silkbind attacks. This one is nuts. The silk wires surround the hunter as they begin to charge up for a huge leap forward, swinging around themselves as they go, then flipping forward for a big slam with the axe mode at the end. Just like the S and a silkbind attack, this one actually protects the hunter with a sort of barrier, protecting the hunter from monster basic hits while performing the move. This seems really important because, yeah, the wind up on this animation is pretty long. The move would probably be interrupted easily if it wasn't for this barrier. And then secondly, our next silkbind attack has another charge effect to it. Dashing forward with a wirebug, we charge up the blade, filling out that sword gauge completely, and then mount the monster for the old sword blade attack. This is basically the move we've been doing throughout World for a mini mount effect. Now it seems like it's part of the silkbind attack specifically, comparable to the longsword in that the helm splitter seems to be attached to the silkbind attack as well. However, this does fully buff up the sword right from nothing. You could be absolutely chargeless and then pop this one out to fully charge and then pull out the big powerful hit without needing to charge at any point. This should make the mini mount attack a bit more viable as well, because it's going to be so easy to do whenever you want to. But there you have it. That's everything for the
Great Sword!
And of course the switch axe. So what do you guys think? Josh is very happy and I'm with him on that. Aerial Greatsword was really cool to me in GU, so seeing it in Rise and be so relevant as well just gets me excited. Honestly, the same could be said for the switch axe. It's another big heavy hitter, so aerial plunges are going to be great. Either way, thanks for watching, guys. We only have one more weapon showcase breakdown to go. Thank you for all the support while I've been blasting these out this week. It's been crazy. But until then, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I'll see you next time.